right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FFL Gloves Off podcast. My name is Kasia Stanuski. I'm here in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm joined with Miss Tamara Johnson out of Michigan. Say hello, Tamara.
Hey, everybody.
Well, Tamara, you've just been killing it recently. Last week, you helped, 5 families?
Yeah.
And
it's been going good.
That's incredible. So, and I know that there's been kind of like ups and downs in your productions, and you're just starting to get the hang of this thing. And you and I have been friends for a while, so you kind of watched me grow, and you jumped on board with us. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. What were you doing before this? How has this been for you?
Okay, for sure. Hey, everybody, and thanks, Kasia, for inviting me to do this. What was I doing before? I have some network marketing experience, but I've pretty much always been in sales of some sort. The hospitality industry is my main thing. I've been a bartender for 11 years. I have a mobile bartending company. So always in some sort of sales, always some sort of marketing. Yeah, that's what I was doing prior to this. And then once you hopped on, I saw your success. And so here I am.
Awesome. What kind of drew you to FFL?
Well, your example for one, I was not interested in insurance at all whatsoever prior to this. Just didn't know anything about the industry and wasn't really interested in learning. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it's not the sexiest thing to do. Selling
right. It's really not. But after learning about the company, just watching the success of such a varied group of individuals doing it, like everybody doing it, right? And just the ease and the simplicity of the system, I was like, all right, I'm going to try this. And the type of money that people are able to make by helping others, I was on board to give it a try.
Absolutely. So. And we are so happy to have you. And like I said, you're really starting to get the hang of this. And what were kind of like your struggles before, and what's changed for you now?
Staying consistent really is something that's a big deal here. So I would say that's the most challenging part for me right now. But then once getting in the home, sometimes I would get in the home and it would just be like, they want insurance. It's an easy layup. Like, let's just do this thing. And then sometimes I felt like I was fumbling the ball. I'm actually thinking of one particular meet that I had with a gentleman. Got in the home, things seemed to be going well. I was in control, so I thought. I went through it and didn't close it. And I called you right after I left that home and told you what happened. And you're like, here's where you messed up. This is what happened, which I really appreciate. And since we changed some things and tweaked some things, it's been a lot better.
Absolutely. And, I'm happy you brought that up, because that's kind of, I think, where we should kind of transition to is what we talked about on the phone that day. Just those tiny little tweaks then led you to the next week you helped 5 families. So it was just those little changes made all the difference. So you and I were talking on the phone the other day, and we were talking about the sale and how so many people think that the sale's really like at the end when you're closing it. But the sale starts far beforehand. And I remember I was telling you, I imagine like a loading bar on the internet, like, when something's loading. And so when you're on the phone dialing, it's like 40% of the sales already completed when you book the appointment, right? So you're 40% loading. Then an additional 10% when you show up to their house, they're there and they let you in. You're already halfway to the sale, right? Halfway there. And then you jump up to 75%, so additional 25% when you set the table and they agree to move forward. Okay, so you're 3/4 of the way there. And then, you add an additional 10%. So you're like 85% when you're doing trial closes throughout the sale. You're painting the image with the financial inventory, and you're getting those trial closes that, yes, this makes sense. Yes, there's a need. And then you quote them, you show them the options, they pick one. You are 95% there. And then that last 5% is you're asking for the routing and account number, and they get it. And that's the sale. But 75% of that is so simple. And so what I wanted to kind of talk about today was actually that setting the table, because I think that's where you can really set up the appointment to either be a a layup, like you were saying, or you're immediately losing control and it's just going to be spiraling downhill from the moment you get there. So are you down to do some role play?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So I'll be the agent, you're Miss Tamara. So I booked an appointment with you. I come to your house. And for those of you who don't know what setting the table really means, setting the table is just kind of what we refer to as once you're at the table with the client, what you say and how you set up the appointment. And I would say there's 4 steps to that. The first one is addressing why you're there. The second would be who you are, who you are. And then the third is what's going to go on today. And the fourth is just asking for permission to continue. Okay, so here we go. So we're together at the table at this point, and I ask you, hey, Tamara, I'm assuming that you're looking to leave some money behind to your family, or this is just to kind of cover final expenses. Am I right?
Definitely. Yeah, I don't want to leave them with nothing when I die.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Well, just for formality's sake and to remind you, my name's Katharina. That's what I go by, guys. And I showed them my license. I just slide it across the table to them. They look at it. Okay, cool. And then I say, perfect. And I may be different than someone else you've spoken to. I'm actually an underwriter, but I'm also a broker. So I work with over a dozen companies here in South Carolina, and I slide over the credibility sheet here, which we all have. You can find it online and print it off so you have it for yourself. So I slide that over to them, and I let them know, look, I'm not loyal to any one particular company. I'm loyal to you. My job's just to find something comfortable, affordable, but most importantly, something you can qualify for. Do you recognize any of these companies? They always point to the baby. I'm just trying to build up that interaction. And they agree to that. And then I let them know what we're going to do today. All right, Tamara, what we're going to do today is really simple. And I pull out my financial inventory and I say, I'm just going to spend about 2 minutes on some health questions, 1 minute on some medical questions. Based on that information, that'll give me an idea of where you kind of stand. I'll put it in my computer and some options will pull up. I'm not the one that makes any decisions. That's really up to the insurance company. So if we find something that makes sense, all we're going to do is submit a request for coverage, and that takes some time, whether it be a couple of days up to a couple of weeks, just depending. Okay. And whenever we're going to submit that request, all I'm going to need from you, Tamara, is just proof of identification, so a driver's license or something of that nature, and then banking information on file. We're not paying for anything today, but the life insurance companies just ask for it so that later down the road, once you are approved, then they can take that first premium and your policy will be active. Does all this sound fair?
Sounds fair.
All right. And that right there, that's 75% completed of the sale. You're there when we agreed, at our 6:15 appointment. So you're home, I came in, I sat down at the table with you. I went over what we're going to do and you agreed to it. Now the rest of that is just for me not to mess up. Does that sound fair? Right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. So you set the table, and what happened once you started setting the table?
So yes, solid. Once you shared with me those 4 steps of what needs to be done, it's just been so much more flawless, because the appointment that I was speaking of before, I went in and I thought, oh, I got this. But I did everything out of order. And if you do it out of order, they're in control and you aren't. He ended up asking me questions and it fell apart. It all unraveled. So yeah, the steps, the order, the steps just make it like everyone knows what's going on. You're in control. And it's like, this is what we're doing. There's no confusion. Once you get to the end of the sale, they already know because you already told them. Exactly. So that's what I found has made it so much easier.
Yeah, you're setting it up for how the appointment's going to go. They already know that you're a broker. So you're already eliminating all the objections that they could possibly have. The objection of, well, I'm going to shop around. Tamara, I already told you I'm the broker. I have the ability to shop around for you. All these options that I'm showing you, that is shopping around. This is the best that you're going to get. So you're eliminating that. Oh, well, I don't give my banking information away. Well, we just discussed this at the beginning. Like I said before, this is what we're not paying for anything today.
We're not paying
part
today.
of the process. This is the way we get insurance. Okay. And so by eliminating those, bringing them up at the beginning allows it to eliminate the objections in the end. And that's why I would say that right there is why you're already 75% through the sales process if you can successfully get to that point of setting up the table.
Agree.
Does that make sense?
Agree, 100%.
It's funny how I use that vocabulary now. I always ask my clients, does that make sense? Does that sound fair? And now I incorporate it all the time. So what other takeaways have you had from like going into the home, and everything that you've learned here?
Yeah, there's so many things that you do learn going into the home. So many things that can't really be taught, because when I first started, I was like, but I don't know this and I don't know how to do this and I don't know. But there's so many things that you are just going to kind of stumble upon, and it's just going to happen and you'll learn in that moment. So yeah, just being in the home has really given me, a lot of experience, just learning, like you said, how to set the table, the questions to ask, the posture that you need to have. So I think I've gotten better at that, and just being in charge when you walk through the door, and then it just flows. So
I think we talked about that one time also, is that one of the struggles you and I have had is that we're always so agreeable, and we always try to be the nice person.
Oh yeah.
And I think that setting the table properly really gives you that posture, because it's not you, it's them, right? Okay, so well, this is the insurance companies, this is the process that they make me follow. So you're just following the rules, so it's not you. And if you're just following this idea of this, it's not really even a script, it's just like this order of events that's going to happen. It gives you that structure, that authority, and that posture to carry you through the entire appointment, which on your own is kind of hard to have, especially when you're just starting off and you end up making friends instead of clients.
So many times. and then you're not lost in the home. You're not lost. Like before, I'm like telling them prices before I even know, what carrier we're going with. So when you have those I know. When you have those 4 steps, though, you're not out of order. You're not bouncing all around and missing imperative things that are going to get them to nod and say, yes, all those trial closes, all those, this is what we're doing. It just helps tremendously. Exactly. And yes, I'm still working on that, not being so agreeable, because my profession before as a bartender, it's all about that. It's just about smiling and being agreeable and whatever they want, but this is opposite. So that's challenging for me, in that I'm like, okay, this is serious. Yeah. We're not here to just make friends. We're here to handle some business. And then I'm telling you, those 4 steps, setting the table, has really helped me with that for sure.
Well, I'm happy. And that's really what helped me in the beginning. I remember I struggled so much is because A, I was too nice. Mm-hmm. B, I wasn't very confident, and I was, nervous, and I was all over the place, and I was getting hit with all these objections, and I didn't know how to handle it. And I spoke to Josh Lockhart about it, and he explained to me, I needed to set the table better. And since that day, it kind of clicked for me. And I realized that if I could just lean on this and just figure out a way that I have a strong, setting the table, then everything else just fell into place, because I started it off strong. And that was kind of my foundation, and everything else I just built on it. But if I didn't have that foundation, everything else crumbled.
100%.
So, well, you've been killing it. You're only getting better now that you figured out how to set the table. What does the future look like for you? What are some of your goals?
Oh, wow. My goal right now is really to stay consistent, to do better than my last week. So that's what I want to do. I want to do better than last week, and then better than just continue that. So I like it here. This is home. I've never made this much money helping people, and I'm excited about that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And are you looking to build an agency?
For sure. I'd love to bring some people on. I have a couple sisters who are interested, and yeah, I'd love to start doing that more, spreading the word, because everybody needs to know about FFL, for sure. So yeah, building an agency is on that list too.
If someone, wanted to work with you, would you be willing to help them, work with them, teach them how?
Absolutely. You well? Yeah. You guys call, text me, email me, write me on Instagram. I'd love to work with you. All
right, perfect. What's your cell phone?
My phone number is 843-475-3477. It's probably the best way to contact me. Text me anytime.
Gotcha. And then is it just your name on Instagram and Facebook?
It's Tamara Lucille, TAMERALUCILLEE. That's my IG, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tamara, for coming and hanging out with us. This has been incredible. And it's just so exciting. You're my best friend. So
I know.
Here just makes my day. That's one of my favorite parts about FFL is like, you know, obviously I would do this alone, but to do it with your friends and we're just going out and helping families together. We're growing as people together. It's been an incredible journey, and it just makes me so happy to see our growth.
I love working with you. I agree.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening, and you guys make it a great week, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.